Hey everybody, it's Trags once again outside Fenway Park, joined again by colleague Nick Quaglia of CLNS Media and CLNSmedia.com. Nick, how good are the Red Sox? Everybody knows about their record-setting performance before the All-Star break, winning more games than any team in the history of Major League Baseball before the All-Star break. But those wins aren't going to matter in October. Everybody knows that. Can this team and will this team match up against the likes of the Astros, Indians, and Yankees?
So to answer your first question, how good is this team? Depends who you talk to, because if you tune into sports radio, might not be that good. This team might be a bunch of frauds. But if you talk to a lot of
They are not frauds, by the way.
I don't
think they are.
I don't think so either. Last year, they obviously won the American League East, but we saw it all year. It was a big conversation topic. These guys are underperforming. Xander Bogaerts underperforming with an injury. Mookie Betts underperforming. We knew Mookie Betts was much better than what he did last year, and he's showing it now. So going into, let's talk about the Yankees and Astros. Do they match up well against them? Yes. It makes me a little nervous, especially with the starting pitching, at least with the Red Sox going up against the Yankees, because we saw what happened. You have to rely on David Price, and we saw what happened in New York. So that part does scare me, but top to bottom, I think the Red Sox offense, we've seen it multiple times this year. This Red Sox offense can make up for a poor pitching performance. So, yeah, I think this team can match up very well against them. And I don't know where this narrative is happening or is being created, because this is such an excellent baseball team top to bottom. You've got guys performing, having career years with Mookie Betts and JD Martinez. And we were asking the question, are these guys going to slow down? Are these guys going to kind of fall back to earth? We thought that would happen. It's mid-July now. Now it kind of just seems like that's the trend for the rest of the season. Mookie Betts and JD Martinez both adding the best offensive threats some of the Red Sox have had in a long, long time. So, yeah, I definitely think this team is as good as advertised right now.
Okay, this is not 1993 when the Giants won 103 games and finished one game behind the Atlanta Braves in the NL West and missed the playoffs. That's not going to happen this year. Red Sox win 100 games, they're going to be in the playoffs. The issue is going to be, of course, the one-game playoff, avoiding the wild card one-game playoff, and maybe more importantly, if you get past that game, having home field advantage against the Yankees and or Astros in the postseason. That is a big deal, and that is why wins in August and September will matter.
Yeah, and we've seen it. I spend a lot of my time on Twitter. I see it all the time on Twitter. These wins in July don't matter. Well, yeah, they kind of do, because we see the New York Yankees chasing your tail right now, and you do not want to be put in that one-game playoff. I've loved it for the past few years, this one-game playoff for baseball. I think it's an awesome thing, until the possibility that the Red Sox might have to be in that one-game playoff. Now I'm like, I kind of wish that one-game playoff wasn't a thing.
Yeah, but let's take that point a step further, though. If it weren't for the wild card playoff or the wild card, that possibility of 1993 with the Braves and Giants does exist.
Yeah, oh, it absolutely does. Now, in August and September, luckily the MLB right now is pretty weak, at least in the American League. So the Red Sox have done very well this year, not playing down to their competition. Right. We've seen the Yankees play down to the Baltimore Orioles a couple of times now. They've lost games that they should have won. The Red Sox haven't done that. They're just coming off of 10 games in a row, sweeping 3 teams in a row that they should have beaten, even the Nationals. For the rest of this month, if you look at the Red Sox schedule, I think it includes the Twins, the Phillies. The Red Sox should have a very good rest of the month of July and then early August too. The teams in the American League aren't playing good baseball, and the Red Sox have not fallen down to their level, which means they should stack up the wins, and we should see more wins. I don't want to say a record-breaking year total, but the Red Sox are going to have, I think, at least 105, 110 wins.
Okay, if they win 100 games, everybody knows this by now. It'd be the first time since 1946 they would reach the century mark. But what will tell you in the final 2 months of the season that this team matches up favorably against the Astros and Yankees? That's what everybody wants to know.
Yes, and they had a series against the Astros where they performed pretty well, including David Price. The team performed pretty well against the Astros, so we know that they can face them and compete with them. Again, it's the Yankees that scare me, and it's not just a Boston, New York thing. It's just this Yankees team as a whole, and even that right field, because they play that right field at Yankee Stadium very well, where they'll hit a home run onto the short porch. All in all, I think the Red Sox match up very well with them, but the starting pitching, that's what makes me nervous when they play the Yankees as a whole, because the Red Sox, after Chris Sale, it's a lot of inconsistency. And it's like we talked about on another one of these, where you need that consistency if you want to be successful in the playoffs. You can hope that Rick Porcello is going to go into Yankee Stadium and play like we've seen him play a couple times this year and pitch like we've seen him pitch a couple times this year, But you can also get the Rick Porcello that we saw the other night, where he's giving up a ton of home runs and just overall struggling. And you can't miss against this Yankees lineup. You absolutely cannot miss with a pitch against this Yankees lineup.
Here's what concerns me about the Yankees and the way the Red Sox would match up. They fall behind after 5 innings, game over for all intents and purposes. The Yankees bullpen is that good, that deep. And if you compare bullpens right now, as we stand here recording this in the blazing hot sun outside Fenway Park, that is the deficiency in my estimation. The Yankee bullpen can shut the Red Sox down, and that would be the biggest concern.
You need a strong starting pitching performance from whoever goes up against the Yankees. It's no question. And not for nothing, the Yankees bullpen is excellent. The Red Sox bullpen has a lot of issues. So
inconsistent.
A lot of inconsistencies. Yeah, again, you can hope that the bullpen's going to come out and play like we've seen them play. Through June, through May, they were a pretty damn good bullpen, including Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly was incredible during the last 2 months, but recently, July itself has been rough for him.
Up and down.
Very up and down for him. So you need to either hope and pray that the bullpen's going to step up in the right situation, or you got to make that move and you got to bolster that bullpen because, like you said, after the 5th inning, if the Red Sox are down by a handful of runs, it's going to be tough for them to climb back, and you do not want to see that in the playoffs.
All right, their ace, Corey Kluber, just received a knee injection. The Cleveland Indians, this is a team, I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, say, nobody talks about the Cleveland Indians. Let me tell you something about Terry Francona's ball club. They are built for the postseason. Are you concerned if the Red Sox go up against the Indians, their starting pitching would outperform the Red Sox starting pitching?
Yes, so with the Red Sox, something else that you've noticed this year is I mentioned they don't play down to the talent of the other teams that they should be beating. But when it comes to starting pitching, it seems like the youth on the club, they kind of falter a little bit. They kind of get shut down by big pitching, and that's exactly what the Cleveland Indians have. Corey Kluber, he's somebody that you have to go in there with the mindset that you're going to beat this guy, because if you don't, he will beat you, hands down. And the Indians, too, it's underrated where they get this offensive power. They have, Edwin Encarnacion, and then Ramirez right now is battling with J.D. Martinez for the league lead in home runs. Right. So, yeah, the Cleveland Indians, not talked about enough because the AL Central overall stinks. That's why they're not getting talked about enough. If the Indians were in this division, they would be in 3rd place right now. They wouldn't even be in a playoff spot. But they're a team that once they get to the postseason, you're going to have to watch out because they're a good ball club, and you can never count out Terry Francona. We know that.
No, we certainly do here in Boston. 2004 and 2007 are great examples of what he can do in the postseason. Well, what are the Red Sox going to do the rest of the season, and what will it mean in the postseason? Stay tuned to CLNSmedia.com. Follow us on Twitter at Red Sox CLNS. Outside Fenway Park, he's Nick Quaglia. I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.